Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, July 19th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone who uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple quick clarification points. Number one, the price that you see over here will be moving around and changing, and then also each one of these candlesticks here will also be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ticker symbol NKLA. Been tracking this one very recently, but the volume really came back in quite a bit today. You can see down here, good solid amount of volume, and then of course the price reacted very nicely to it, mainly during that opening part of the day where the price exploded up quite a bit right there. And then after that, and I don't say this in a bad way, but things kind of quieted down here a little bit, and the price, oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. The price just started to go sideways. But the key thing here is that the price is going sideways higher than where it was going sideways previously. So down here was also going sideways, and not to insult your intelligence, but when price movements are going sideways higher compared to where they were previously doing the same thing, that is a sign of bullishness. That is a sign of progress in the upwards direction, and that's what we have here. So yeah, I'm sure some people would say, well, geez, I wish it was like this opening 30 minutes the entire day long, but that's not always the reality of things. But overall, good solid day, and now it's just a question of where some of these key battlegrounds at moving forward. And the main level of resistance that you got to think a lot of people are going to be watching right up there at $2.72. Going through the history, you can see there's some price congestion right there, and then just flat out this morning, but that's right where the price got rejected. So keep an eye on that as the key level of resistance. And while nothing's guaranteed, it is plausible to think that the price comes up here and then breaks through that level, that break in and of itself could very well create good solid upwards momentum. But overall, good day, nice little consolidation. Not just a question of can the price get back up to that area and break through it. We'll see what Wednesday has to offer. Next one, ticker symbol PLTR. This will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the video from yesterday, but hopefully you do remember me talking about the pattern right here. Drew those levels into place, and you can see got the breakout from here and has now made another nice move. But in all actuality, kind of a case of deja vu, because what we have here has now just essentially adjusted to this part of the chart. Now there's a couple little adjustments. I'll move that up here a little bit to focus on the main area of resistance being right up there at that point. And then we also have this area. Again, maybe not the exact same dynamic, but same general idea that you have this little trend line right here. But overall, you essentially just have, like yesterday, another bull pennant pattern. And that's sometimes how uptrends go. You'll just have one bull pennant after another bull pennant. So for those of you that need a little bit more help visualizing, so we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big move right here, we have our golf hole down here to make it a little bit more visual for you golfers. So there we go, another bull pennant pattern. So big picture wise, the trend continues up, but looking at things very, very narrowly like we are here, you just have yourself another bull pennant pattern. But overall, PLTR, very good looking chart, very good looking day. Next one, ICAD, and I'm going to go through this very quick because you just heard me say it, but we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So we have our key area of resistance right there at 380. We have our support level right here at that level, so I'll change that to green to represent the support. And then just to keep it one color, so make it a little bit more easy for some of you to visualize. So resistance, support, big move up right there, golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. I'd say the biggest difference here is just the price range. This one is down below $5. So if you like this price range below $5, you like bull pennant patterns, I'd certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, FFIE, and maybe you're going to notice a theme here, but yes, once again, as I draw these lines, you're probably saying, I know what this guy's going to say. I know exactly what he's going to say. So there's our level of resistance. There's our level of support. And then let me go to, say it with me, the color yellow. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move today. We have the golf hole down here. So yes, you better believe it, another bull pennant pattern. Lots of bull pennants around the market, but trying to show a variety of them. So we'd have, a big price range here. Now, maybe you're just somebody's like, I like bull pennants, but I only like them for penny stocks. Well, here you go, because FFIE is a penny stock. It's in an uptrend, and it's got a bull pennant pattern. So if you like these sorts of environments, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, AMC, and a very, very rough day today. A pretty cruel day, because when you stop and think about the fact that 30-minute session right there, check out the size of that green candle. Very, very impressive 30-minute period. And then after that, you now know the rest of the story. I mean, the thing just completely collapsed all the way back down. So a brutal day here. which is now starting to kind of question, is there something wrong? Is there a flaw going on here? Because, there's no need to beat around the bush. That was a pretty big collapse that occurred, after that very strong period of time right there. So let's map out some areas here moving forward, at least that, to me stand out. 425, a very interesting level, and I would say a very important level. And while I'm not saying this will occur, if the price were to come down to 425 and then just break down below it, what would that be doing at that point in time? That would quite literally be putting the price right back into this area of the chart. So in other words, it would be putting the price right back into that range where it already was. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make great moves and then all of a sudden go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of true power. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that's why in my mind that 425 mark going to be very important moving forward. If the price does try to bounce, key level of resistance, all about that purple line, 50 period moving average. You can see quite the track record of that area acting as resistance several times. Now, when the price did break above it right there, nice move, but that didn't last that long, and as soon as the price went back to being below it, then you had this situation, both here and then here where that level went right back to acting as resistance. So that'll be the main battleground if there is any sort of attempted bounce. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely go get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla, and this will mean, again, a little bit more to those of you that watched the previous video, but if you did, hopefully remember me talking about this pattern here, and you can see that early afternoon got the break from that pattern and then really just didn't look back as it continued to grind and grind. And then even as I speak right now, this last 30 minutes is pushing at the highs, and that's why I like to do these when the markets are still open, because you can just see such a good solid green candle that is still forming here. So more of the story here, updates need to be done, but only so much you can say when something just continues to beast mode higher and higher. Because right now, there's not really any levels of resistance to break, because the price is at levels that it's not been seen for many months now. So really, at least in my opinion, the best way to approach this is just map out some areas of support where if you're somebody that prefers to play more so pullbacks, then these could present you with some interesting levels. First key pullback area right there at the 292.25 mark, and then from a more of an overarching pullback area, just watch that purple line right there, the 50 period moving average. I understand that right now the price isn't anywhere close to it, but again, that is a moving average, so that level will get higher and higher as time goes by. But those would be a couple areas to watch for a pullback. If you're some sort of momentum player or whatever, then sure, do whatever floats your boat. Sure, maybe you're looking to buy right there. To me, that seems like you're kind of chasing the price. However, it is Tesla, so maybe by the end of the week, chasing right here would have definitely been the right way to go about it, but that's where you just got to figure out what makes the most sense to you. But overall, Tesla continues to look very, very powerful. Next one, AMD, and after a brutal day a couple of days ago, this thing is working its way back upwards, and I think has a couple of key dynamics here to watch very closely as far as resistance levels. First general area of resistance, right up here at these highs, so let's call it the 119 mark. So 119 is going to be a key level. Let me change that to red, again, to represent resistance. So 119, main battleground right there. And then from as far as supports are concerned, and more so kind of the dynamic here that I like, is when you just consider that, okay, you had a set of lows here, you had a set of lows here, and now you're having even maybe a little higher set of lows right there. So if you envision each one of those as stair-steps, what you now have is stair-steps starting to progress in the upward direction. So it's really just a question of, can you get that next leg up? Is that move right there going to get the break and going to push up higher? So keep a close eye on that dynamic right there. As sometimes it's all about just looking at those higher lows, and that can lead to being an indicator that gives you a bit of a heads up. Of course, there are no guarantees, so I'm not making that claim. But all I'm saying is I can understand your logic if you're thinking, okay, I like these higher lows. I think this is almost like a little coil getting ready to make another move back upwards. So definitely some interesting dynamics here, especially as AMD, very popular stock. A lot of people are always watching it. So definitely keep an eye on it if you like these sorts of potential scenarios. Next one, RIVN, and I like this one quite a bit because there's a very well-defined level. So as I draw this, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply this is a great discovery on my part. But right here at 25.75, you got to think a lot of people are paying attention to that level. And I emphasize all that because when a lot of people are noticing the same thing and watching the same thing, how it was rejected there and rejected there, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So, of course, no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that the price can curl its way back upwards, get to that level, and then get the break, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a more than plausible outcome. So if you like these sorts of, potentially self-fulfilling prophecy breakouts, I definitely keep an eye on RIVN. And then I put this one here, same general idea as I just talked about. So think self-fulfilling prophecy, think, levels that a lot of people are watching. In my mind, right here at 41.25 is a level that a lot of people are watching. Maybe not as many, and I admit this is a little bit more of a tricky level, and it became tricky today because, yeah, the price actually broke above it there, and then the price failed. Came back up here, broke above it, and failed. Again, so 2 fake breakouts right there. But that, in my mind, that still doesn't take away from the fact that this is very clearly a level where there are a lot of sellers hanging out. So moving forward, it's really just a question of can the price not necessarily break above the level, because we had 2 data points already that the price can break above it. The big question mark is can the price break above it and stay above it? So moving forward, that'll be the main dynamic. And if the price can stay above it for an extended period of time, then you got to look at that as a leading indicator that potentially a lot more momentum to come. But again, one like AMD, CVNA has been getting a lot of volume, a lot of people talking about it. So it's just one of those things where all it takes is the right catalyst, and all of a sudden this thing is snapping back up here and potentially giving a good, solid, self-fulfilling prophecy breakout. Next one here, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to rise, this one will also rise, rises along with it. It just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. So NASDAQ had a good day today after a gap down. Therefore, this one had a good day. So really kind of like Tesla, how this thing's pushing highs that it's not seen for a very long time. So in my opinion, the best way to approach these sorts of situations is let's just look at some potential support levels and pullback levels. Again, you're more than welcome to buy up around this area. That feels kind of like chasing to me, but I mean, I could be proven completely wrong. But that's why me personally, I'm just going to focus on more so potentially pullback areas with a key level of support right there at 45.35. This was the former breakout point. And as a basic rule in charting states, when the former levels of resistance, which you can see right there, are broken, they tend to act as support. So guarantees, of course not, but would it shock anybody? Would it be crazy to see something like that happen? I don't think so at all. So if you're somebody that considers yourself more of a pullback player, then that's an interesting level. But if this thing just wants to continue to grind higher and higher, then that's always a trade-off where maybe you may be sitting there waiting for a pullback and waiting for a pullback and waiting for a pullback, and then you just say, well, I should have just bought way back when because this thing never pulls back. So that's always a real possibility too, which is why at the end of the day, you just got to figure out what you think makes the most sense and what fits into your strategy the best. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for the free live class. It'll be very soon, Thursday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as the top 10 lists are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do 2 things for me. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. Those 2 things communicate to me that you're enjoying. As long as I know you're enjoying, I'll continue to put in the effort to get this content out to you. So go get signed up for that free class. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. Thanks for watching.